to demonstrate in this video how pro sports are synced up with major events and announcements. So on the 20th of December 2020, or 12/20/2020, it was announced that flights from the UK had been cancelled because they say a new coronavirus variant is out of control. So out of control is being emphasized here, as you can see here in these headlines as well, it gets emphasized. So basically a family member told me that Christmas has been cancelled in the UK. Everyone's in full lockdown, everything's been closed down. It's like the Grinch who stole Christmas, like the movie that people watch. And if you don't fall for the Christmas cheer, then you're a Grinch, you're a Grinch. For me, Christmas is about being around family. It's about having some time off, about reflection, enjoying a nice dinner. It doesn't mean that you have to sit in front of the TV and watch Christmas movies, the same ones, The Grinch, Home Alone, Elf. You can still enjoy Christmas without watching those movies. Although I've been called a Grinch because I have no interest in them anymore. Anyway, so out of control equals 57 in the Gematrinator. And that's a big number because England also equals 57. And this whole announcement came in England, how this new variant of coronavirus is out of control. And vaccine equals 57. And remember, as I predicted in the past, that the UK was the first country to administer the vaccine to 90-year-old Margaret Keenan. And the first man to receive it was 81-year-old William Shakespeare. And people say this to me, Adam, there's more than one William Shakespeare. You're crazy. Such a conspiracy theorist. It's like, yeah, I'm so crazy. So let's take a look at the numerology of this date, of this announcement. 12/20/2020 as a date numerology of 32, like 12 plus 20 is 32, and also a date numerology of 72, like 12 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. These numbers are significant with this announcement and why it was made on this specific day. Because UK, which is an abbreviation of United Kingdom, that equals 32. And the Jesuit logo, who are running the show, their logo has 32 sun rays, which I'll show you in a moment. Jesuit order, you see here, has the reversible reduction of 72. Look at the date numerology of 72. And here is the Jesuit order logo, or the Society of Jesus logo, with the 32 rays. They worship the sun. And it's no wonder Son for Tottenham Hotspurs is having an amazing season. This is a big Jesuit year, and next year will be an even bigger one, with it being 2021, and 21 is a huge number for the Jesuits, as is 201. So get this. They say this new variant is 70% more transmissible than the earlier strain and is responsible for 60% of infections in London. These numbers and percentages are manipulated. The statistics are not correct, yet people still fall for them because they don't understand the numbers and what they're doing with the 6 and the 7. Or the 70 and the 60. Remember, 0 has no value in gematria, so I can say 7 and 6. So coronavirus equals 70. United Kingdom equals 70. And out of control equals 60. So you've got your connections there. You see how they're doing it? 666, if you type that into the gematria calculator, equals 60. And 666 is the 36 triangular number. And this particular date where they made this announcement about the new variant of the coronavirus has a 36 date numerology. So if you do 12 plus 20 plus 2, it gets you 36. Obviously 0 has no value. Coronavirus variant equals 87, 96, and 246. And this is interesting because the Premier Grand Lodge of London opened on the 24th of June, which is 24/6, in the year 1717. The organization known as the Premier Grand Lodge of England was founded on 24th of June 1717. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Q the 17th alphabet? 17th letter of the alphabet? Think of this whole Q movement. It's the Jesuit order are behind the Q movement. 1717, Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. Anyway, so this Grand Lodge of London and Westminster was basically a building that was originally concerned with the practice of Freemasonry. So yeah, it was set up by the Freemasons for the Freemasons. So these numbers 87 and 96 are significant. The number of the beast is very biblical. 87, 96. 666 equals 87 as well as 60. Corona equals 96. Like the coronavirus. Freemason equals 96. And then a few of my friends told me that their family were planning on going on a trip for Christmas and their flights got cancelled. I started looking into some articles, and again, they emphasized flights cancelled. That equals 65 and 277. And 277 is the 59th prime, which is very significant. So United Kingdom equals 65. Pandemic equals 65. Interesting that Bill Gates is 65 years old, and he's the man pushing global vaccinations, and he's the man who foreshadowed in Event 201 a pandemic coming. And what, a year after, we have a global pandemic? 65 years old. Also, let me bring up the 56s. Did a bit of research on this. I was going to do a whole video on it, but I won't. So his wife, Melinda Gates, and you know, they have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and philanthropists equals 201. But his wife, Melinda, is 56 years old. Do you want to know who else is 56 years old? Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of England, 56. Do you want to know who else is 56 years old? Jeff Bezos, the guy who's making billions constantly. We get told that he owns Amazon. No, he doesn't. The Jesuit order own Amazon. He is the face of it. Just like how Zuckerberg is the face of Facebook. He didn't come up with it. Just like Bill Gates was the face of Microsoft. He didn't come up with it. He's just the face of it. It's all the Jesuit order. All the money goes to them. They'll tell you that these people are the richest people in the world. They won't tell you about the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers, or the people who truly are the richest people in the world, who run the banking systems and all of that. You don't hear their name. Everybody knows the name of the Kardashians. There's a reason for that. Do you want to know who else is 56? Kamala Harris, who's going to replace Biden, no doubt, when he steps down with dementia or he gets killed, just like JFK got killed at the age of 46, and how Biden's going to be the 46th president of the United States, how his son died at the age of 46. So either Biden steps down with dementia and gets replaced by 56-year-old Kamala Harris, or his life's taken. Do you want to know who was born in 1956? The first celebrity to get COVID. Yeah, creepy Tom Hanks. Despicable human being. He was born in 1956. Is he a good actor? No doubt. Is he a massive member of the Jesuit order? No doubt. So London, England. So London's the capital of England. That equals 59. Remember how I said 277 is the 59th prime? Boris Johnson equals 59. I'm sure he was the guy who gave the news or announced it. Freemasonry equals 59. Boris Johnson, massive Freemason. A lot of these presidents, prime ministers, went to Jesuit schools. So many of them. If you look at like George Bush and Bill Clinton, they both went to Yale. They were there at the same time. They both become presidents. Trump went to a Jesuit school. The list goes on and on. They're all part of a little group, and they all have their roles, and they get selected, not elected. The world we're living in at the very top is a script, like Shakespeare said. The world's a stage, and we have to accept it. We need to stop watching these movies and watching the news unless you're going to decode it. Because if you're falling for it and you're falling for these numbers, and it's all negative. It's constant negativity reported. It's just, it makes you weaker mentally, and it makes you easier to control. And it's a lot easier to be manipulated than accept you've been manipulated. And I'm not standing here all, I've got a big ego, I'm such a genius. I've accepted I was manipulated, that sports are rigged, that politicians are selected, not elected, that we're being indoctrinated, that history is probably being rewritten. We've lost probably what's the most important part of living, that social connection. And it's disappearing even more with social media now. People are more happier to just stay at home and be on the phone and play video games. It makes me sad. There's nothing wrong with these things. But you just see how obsessed people have become. They're distractions mainly to actually what's really going on in the world. And we need to be more aware of what's going on because we're being played. The puppet masters have played us, and we continue to be getting played, and people don't want to accept it. And say I'm crazy, Adam, go to a nut house, go see a psychologist. Why are you thinking this way? What's happened to you? What do you mean, what's happened to me? I've had like a revelation. I've seen what's going on. Like I said, I feel like Truman in the Truman Show. And I'm going to keep trying to push for truth. Adam, why are you doing this? What are you gaining from it? You're not getting any money from it. You're not. A lot of people disagree. Why are you even doing this? Why are you wasting your time and energy? I don't need a reward. I don't need an extrinsic reward. I don't need a trophy or money to try and reveal truth. Okay, I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart, and my spirit is guiding me here. Oh, you're such a hippie, man. Okay, sure. Right. If you're interested in professional sports, especially the Premier League, and take a look at this Liverpool versus Crystal Palace 7-0 ritual that just took place on the 19th, like COVID-19. So Liverpool, yes, best team in the league, yes, reigning champions, whatever. It's all scripted, completely scripted. They'll win the league this season, no doubt in my mind. They will win the league, not because they're the best team with the best squad, with the best coach, because the numbers and the narrative and the script has Liverpool to win it. So some interesting numbers here with this 7-0 win. First goal was in the 3rd minute by Minamino. 3 is a big, big number for the Masons. Sadio Mane in the 35th minute, Catholic equals 35. You got Firmino got a couple of goals. Jordan Henderson, the captain. And then this guy, Mohamed Salah, 81, ritual in 2 ciphers. 84, the Jesuit order. Mohamed Salah, I'll get to him later. And what a ritual it was for him in this particular game. But for the whole team, the players on this team and coaching staff, they know what's going on. The same here. The officials know what's going on. So 7, so they won 7-0 or 7-0. 7, if you type that into the calculator, equals 1765. Klopp, who's the coach, the iconic coach of Liverpool, well, that's his last name, equals 1765, as you can see here, 1765. Coronavirus equals 70, and pandemic equals 65. They have connected what's going on in the world with coronavirus with this game. People just say, oh, well, Liverpool, what a team, 7 goals, prolific. Well, they had no Van Dijk. I know he doesn't score many goals, but he's probably their best player. And their best striker started on the bench. Yes, he came on and made a big impact. But I'll tell you later what time he came on and why that's significant. So Liverpool had 65% possession, and they win 7-0. Like coronavirus is 70, like pandemic 65, like Klopp 70, like Klopp is 65, 65% possession, 7-0 win. See the 35% making an appearance here, like Catholic, like Manny scored in the 35th minute. It's not by accident. It's rigged. It's scripted. It's blatant to me now. And I'll eventually prove it. Just like in WWE, we all know it's scripted. We all know that there's a predetermined outcome, but we don't know who's going to be crowned the champion. We can have an idea, but we don't really know, and they can flip the script at any point. I'm sure they've done that many times, even during the match. But it's going on in professional sports. If anybody watches the NFL or the NBA, that's on a different level of corruption. 100% Lakers will go back-to-back. Like back-to-back equals 201. LeBron James is going to go 5 and 6 in finals. Like 56. So, oh, but they're the favourites. Yeah, they're almost 3-1. Put your money on them. They're winning it. Whatever happens. Even if LeBron gets injured, they'll win it because it's already been predetermined when it's a major event. In games, maybe they do flip it occasionally, depending on Vegas, depending on gambling. The predetermined outcome of a champion does not change. So let me discuss some 7s. Okay, some 7s that appear with Liverpool. Again, these are not coincidences. So they are the first team to both score and concede 7 goals in away games in the same Premier League season. So there's the first bit of history. Remember, history is like his story. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in his story. Somebody made that story up about Rudolph, and now they're writing scripts for the Premier League. So they got beat 7-2 by Villa earlier in the season. Aston Villa, who won the favourites for relegation. Yes, they're doing all right now because the script's allowing that. But they got beat 7-2. They had a fully fit team. It wasn't like they had half the team missing. They were playing the second string, and they get beat 7-2. And they've just won 7-0. So both games were away from home. All 7 of Liverpool's goals were assisted by different players. You've got Mane, Firmino, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold. By the way, where's the jersey number 66? The big hero from Liverpool, just a storyline. Yes. Can all these players play at a really high level? Yes, but they're athletic actors. Salah, Matip, and Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's the first time in Premier League history 7 different players have assisted a goal for a team in a match. So there's some more history for you. Liverpool scored 7 goals from just 8 shots on target against Palace. 7 goals from 8 shots. Like, who was in goal? Because as far as I'm aware, the Palace goalkeeper is supposed to be a decent keeper. Liverpool create a lot of chances every game, and they miss a lot of chances. The likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino, they miss a lot of chances, create a lot. And in this game, 7 goals from 8 shots on target. By the way, Palace in the previous 13 games of the season had only conceded 18 goals. And then in the 14th game, they conceded 7, taking it to 25 goals. So they come into this game having conceded 18 goals. The first player to score was Minamino, who wears the number 18 shirt. How they sync it all up is outrageous. The Reds, which is their nickname, have registered an away top flight win by a margin of 7 goals for the first time in their history. His story. Last season, on the way to the title, they became the team to secure the championship earlier than anyone before them, with 7 games to spare, as well as mounting the biggest lead at the top of the table. So they won the league last season with 7 games to spare. 7. Again, it's all planned from the beginning, from the first kick of the ball. Sadio Mane has found goals easy to come by whenever he plays against the Eagles. He's now found the back of the net 7 times in his last 7 games against them. 7 and 7. So when you see certain players always scoring goals against certain teams, like Vardy against Manchester City, it's because the numbers will align with it. It's not because, oh, well, this team leaves gaps in at the back. This team suits Mane's style of football. No, it's just a script. So basically, anytime Liverpool play Crystal Palace, just put your money on Mane to score. The victory is the Reds' biggest win in Premier League history as they surpassed a 7-1 home win against Southampton. By the way, Southampton are called the Saints. And with what's going on so much with the Jesuit order this year, no wonder the Saints are doing so well in the league. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Like, it's ridiculous. Their team is average at best. It's average at best. You'd expect them to be closer to relegation than the top 5 or 6, but I think they're 5th or 6th at the moment. This happened in January 1999, which was 21 years ago. The big Jesuit number. Jesuit equals 21. Liverpool won the only side to break records during this game. The 7-0 loss happens to be the worst ever home loss Crystal Palace has endured in the entirety of their league history. So how much history do you want to make in one game? On this particular date with what's going on with coronavirus. Or coronavirus equals 70. Game ends 7-0. Liverpool FC equals 56, like coronavirus. So Crystal Palace manager is Roy Hodgson. He lost his 7th Premier League game against Liverpool since leaving the club in 2011. So he coached Liverpool in an unsuccessful run with them. And he just picked up his 7th loss against them since leaving the club. It's all a script, storylines. As I've said, these players who then become pundits or they become managers and then their sons become pro players. It's just, they're all coming through at the moment. Chiesa, Maldini, Zidane's kids. I just saw Rooney's kid just signed for Manchester United as 11. You got Casper Schmeichel, who's a goalkeeper, and his dad was the iconic Peter Schmeichel, and they both won the Premier League. There's so many of them. They're all coming through. I'm sure Ronaldo's kid will end up being one of the greatest ever to play the game. It's just beyond a joke to me. And people say, oh, it's just their good DNA. It's their contacts. It's all scripted. You want to keep it in the family as much as you can. Like the pundits for Sky, you've got Carragher, the ex-Liverpool captain, Gary Neville, the ex-Man United captain. You got Lineker, who hosts Match of the Day, who captained England. It goes on and on and on. They're all aware of what's going on. Speaking of being aware of what's going on, this game here, Liverpool and Tottenham, where Liverpool won 2-1 in the last minute. There's a clip on YouTube of Tim Sherwood, an ex-player. I think he played for Spurs. He may have even managed them as well. It's 1-1, 90th minute, Liverpool have a corner. He's saying in the studio, oh, I'm comfortable, Tottenham will defend this. I don't see any threat from Liverpool from set pieces. And then Firmino scores a header. Oh, I'll have to eat my words. What a header. They know what's going on. They know the script. They know the outcome. So Roberto Firmino and the Jesuit order numbers. This guy is one of Liverpool's best players. Great smile. Brazilian striker. And look at his numbers with the Jesuit order, the 177, the 201, the 84, these massive, massive Jesuit order numbers. Notice the Pope just turned 84 this week. And Bobby Firmino, or Roberto Firmino, gets a couple of goals and an assist for Liverpool the same week. So as well with Roberto Firmino, he scores so many last-minute match-winning goals. Like I said, he's done it here. This was a top-of-the-table clash, and Firmino scores in the last minute to make it 2-1, Jesuits 2-1. Son, who I was mentioning earlier in the video, look how he scored in the 33rd minute. And he's one of the top scorers in the league at the moment because Son, Jesuit order. Also, there was the FIFA World Club Championship, and Liverpool got there because they were the reigning Champions League winners, so the champions of Europe. They played in the semi-final against Monterrey. They won 2-1 in the semi-final of that game, scoring in the last minute with a Roberto Firmino goal. Then they get to the final against the Brazilian side. I think it was Fluminense. I might be wrong, but it was definitely a team from Brazil. And he scores in the 99th minute in a 1-0 win. And check this out. So Mohamed Salah, as we know him, but his full name is Mohamed Salah Ahmed Marous Ghali. His full name equals 144, like Jesuit order equals 144. Mohammed, just his first name, equals 59, like Freemasonry. I've already discussed the 59. Boris Johnson equals 59. It's all connected. They're all part of the same group, the Masons and the Jesuit order. Sadio Mane equals 51 and 81. Jesuit order equals 54, as I've shown you many times in videos, and ritual equals 81. Remember how Salah just scored in the 81st minute in the last game? So there you have it. These three, Firmino, Salah, Mane, arguably the best front three in world football. I know in the past you've had like Neymar, Messi, and Suarez. You've had Bale, Benzema, and Cristiano, BBC. But I would say right now, best three forwards in world football together, the way it's been scripted, is Roberto Firmino, Mohamed Salah, and Sadio Mane. So the number three, I told you a very significant number. They scored their first goal against Crystal Palace after 3 minutes on their way to picking up a valuable 3 points. The win ensured they would be top of the league on Christmas Day for the third year in a row. It's the third year in a row that they've been top at Christmas. Interesting, last season they won their first league title in 30 years. Remember in Gematria, the 0 has no value, so it can be seen as 3. Liverpool dominated English football in the 80s, dominated it, and was replaced by Manchester United. Again, because the numbers all align for them. So they don't win a title for 30 years, and then they eventually win it. Storyline. For the first time in Premier League history, the trio of Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, and Roberto Firmino all scored and assisted in the same game. That's never happened. Okay, these three players, they're known for scoring a lot of goals and assisting a lot of goals and setting each other up and all of that. And that's never happened until what took place this past weekend. Ritual. After coming off the bench against Palace, Mohamed Salah became the first substitute to be directly involved in 3 goals in a Premier League game for Liverpool. So he scored 2, the 81st minute and the 84th, and he also assisted a goal for Firmino. History again. How much history in this one game? He came on after 57 minutes. You can check that for yourself. He came on after 57 minutes, which is highly significant. Look at this. Out of control was 57. England, where the Premier League is, 57. Comes on the 57th minute, right? Liverpool leading, extremely comfortable, by the way. So if we look, where's the result? Where's that 7-0 result? Here. So he comes on in the 57th minute. His team's 4-0 up, right? You're 4-0 up. You've got a busy festive Christmas period where there's games after games after games. You're 4-0 up away from home. You've won the game. And for the last 33 minutes, the Mason number, the last 33 minutes, you bring on your star player, which didn't need to come on at 4-0. And he comes on and he sets up a goal in the 68th minute, scores in the 81st, scores in the 84th. For me, that obviously we'll say it's amazing coaching. Wow, what a decision. For me, that's, as a coach, that's naive coaching. You're 4-0 up, you don't bring on your star player, you give him a rest. You probably take, I know he replaced Mane, you take off your top players and you give some of the young players or the fringe players a run out while you're 4-0 up with 30 minutes left. But no, people don't use the common sense. They just don't. And it baffles me. It continues to baffle me. So yeah, came on after 57 minutes with 33 minutes remaining. Their last home league game loss came 3 years and 7 months ago, and it was against Crystal Palace, losing 2-1. So there's the 3 and the 7 in this statistic. Been going on about all those 7s, and now I'm going on about the 3, 7 months. 3 years and 7 months. And interestingly, in this storyline, Christian Benteke scored 2 goals, and that is a nice storyline as he came back to haunt his former club where he had recently been ridiculed. So Benteke was great for Aston Villa. He signs for Liverpool, does nothing there, barely scores a goal. He leaves, he signs for Palace for 5 million less than what Liverpool paid for him. So they lost money on him. And he comes back to Anfield and scores 2 goals. It's just ridiculous, to be honest. It's all storyline. It is a soap opera for men. Okay, and we sit at home on our Saturdays and Sundays when we could be out hiking or with our family or doing something proactive or productive. But no, we'll sit at home, we'll watch the games, we'll gamble on the games, we'll allow it to affect our mood. And it's all scripted. And I don't know how many more videos I have to do to prove it without people saying you're crazy. I still bet, I don't watch the games, but I bet and I win so much money from decode. So if you put in the work, you can decode it. You can't always win. If I would, I'd be a billionaire because there's double decode a lot of the time. And it's a lot easier, obviously, to decode it once the game's done. You're like, oh, okay, that's why that happened. But a lot of the times, decode is pretty clear as to who's going to win, even what score it's going to be. So remember I told you how Salah came on with 33 minutes left and how big the number 33 is? Let's think about the Liverpool Champions League final where they were 3-0 down against the best team in the world, AC Milan. I've mentioned this before, who had Kaká, Pirlo, Maldini, Shevchenko, Gattuso, Dida, some unbelievable players. AC Milan are 3-0 up at half-time. Liverpool, with what I would say a mediocre team at the time for the Champions League. I can't believe they even got to the final, but again, it's all a script. It didn't matter. They turned the game around. They draw 3-3 and win on penalties. Anyway, they had a ritual against them that went against them. So the season where they were basically tipped to win the league, and they had a big lead not many games left. They were 3-0 up at Palace, Selhurst Park. This is where they had Gerrard and Suarez and Daniel Sturridge. They had a really good team, and they were pretty much odds on to win the league. 3-0 up, top of the league, mediocre Palace team. Game ends up 3-3. This was the same season club captain Steven Gerrard said, "We don't let this slip, we go again." I apologise for my horrific Scouse accent, but you can watch that on YouTube as well. He talks about not letting it slip. They had this big lead, comfortable lead. I think they just beat Man City, who were one of the biggest rivals, who ended up winning the league, by the way. So he said, "We don't let this slip, we go again," after taking a commanding lead in the Premier League, only for him to slip in a crucial game against Chelsea and be punished by number 19, Demba Ba, in a game which they lost. So they lost that game. Demba Ba finished them. He made it 2-0. I think Willian got the first goal. But Demba Ba, he's been involved in a lot of rituals that I've noticed. So look how Demba Ba equals 19. He wears the number 19 shirt. He wore that for Chelsea when he got onto that goal where he punished Gerrard's slip. I think he put it through the keeper's legs. There's so many goals as well that go through the keeper's legs. Penalties, set pieces, so easy to script. Also, he's been involved in a few rituals involving Man United. So if you watch the game, he's playing for a team in Istanbul now. They beat Manchester United 1-0, massive upset. Man United had a corner. They brought all the team forward, left nobody back. Demba Ba, Champions League striker, is on the halfway line by himself. The defender from Istanbul play a long ball just straight up to halfway line. Demba Ba solo, he cruises through, scores. Manchester United lose 1-0. Demba Ba scores. And then a few weeks later, Demba Ba's caught in this controversy where he's attacking the officials who he accused of being racist towards him in the Paris Saint-Germain game, which was in the same group Manchester United were in. All predetermined, all planned before the game, all to increase racial tension. And read on Instagram, which I can't stand. Demba Ba, well done for speaking up. Blah, blah, blah. No, he's an actor playing his role. He's been involved. That's 3 rituals that I've just said. I'm sure there's more with him. Number 19. Demba Ba, 19. So Liverpool have now scored 600 goals in 288 games in all competitions since Jurgen Klopp's appointment in October 2015. That's the fastest they've reached that tally under any manager. The win took them 6 points clear at the top. So if you see the 600, zeros have no value. Took them 6 points clear, I think, of Tottenham. And Corona equals 66. So Liverpool and their biggest rivals, Manchester United, have scored and conceded 6-7 goals in the same game weeks. So look here how Liverpool got beat, I said, in that ritual 7-2 against Aston Villa. Game week 4, Man United, game week 4, they get beat by Jose Mourinho Spurs. Remember, Jose Mourinho was the coach of Man United recently, and he got a lot of criticism despite winning trophies. Jose will win trophies. He will win a trophy with Spurs this season. I think probably the FA Cup, but his storyline is to win trophies, especially in his second season. So Spurs will be lifting the trophy. It won't be the Premier League because that's Liverpool. And then look at this, game week 14. Liverpool wins 7-0. Man United wins 6-2. Against one of their biggest rivals. These two clubs hate each other. And Man United destroy them 6-2. It's, again, just seeing Villa beat Liverpool 7-2. How is that happening? How is that happening? Just look at these scores. And the scores that just keep taking place every single week, the wild scores, the outrageous decisions. It's baffling to me that people still play along with it. But again, you grow up with it. You want to be a pro. You hang out with your friends. You go to the games with your parents. It's hard to accept. And it was hard for me, but I've accepted it. And the more I decode it, the more obvious it's become. Simply put, Liverpool will be winning their 20th league title and matching Manchester United's record of 20 league titles in a season that started in 2020. See the two 20s? They're both going to be on 20 by the end of this season. Remember that Klopp equals 20? Let me show you here with Klopp. Where is he? Klopp equals 20. He'll be guiding Liverpool to their 20th league title. I bet the next one doesn't come for 5 years. I think their domination ends this season. I think next season Messi will sign for Man City, especially the fact that he's 33, and that's a big number. And if you notice, Ronaldo left for Juventus at the age of 33. It's all by the numbers. Messi will be going to Man City next year, be joining with Guardiola, and they're going to be back dominating the English League, Man City again. And they'll win the Champions League with him. Guardiola has never won a Champions League without Messi, but he'll win another one with him at Man City. So there you go. If you can back Messi to sign for Man City right now, do it, because he's going. There's a reason Barcelona are having such a terrible season in the league. It's to give more emphasis on Messi leaving, not because they have a bad squad. The squad's decent. So 3, I've discussed. Demba Ba, I've discussed. I've discussed how Liverpool will be winning the title this season. Manchester United will finish second behind them. I said that when United was struggling. I said, don't matter, they're finishing second. And they're going to finish second behind Liverpool. Let me finish with this. So I looked into Serie A, and I looked at the table, and I saw the top of the table was AC Milan, and they came into their game this weekend with an 8-4-0 record. 1-8 drawn, 4 lost none. So the Pope turned 84 this week, and Jesuit order equals 84, the Jesuit order. So I thought, personally, okay, they're going to stay on 84 as a tribute to the Pope, and they're going to get their first loss of the season against 6th place Sassuolo. Didn't happen that way. I still won money on the game because I got on both teams to score, because I was so sure the game would end 2-1, but I thought it would end 2-1 to this team. It was a reverse. But check this out. They scored the fastest ever goal in history after 6 seconds, and it's scored by number 17. All right, remember I told you the Premier Grand Lodge of England, founded by the Masons? It was established in 1717. Number 17 scores after 6 seconds. We know 6 is a very Luciferian number, satanic number 6. And get this, the winning goal was scored by this guy, number 56, how coronavirus equals 56. He got the winning goal in a 2-1 win, how Jesuit equals 21. Okay, coronavirus equals 56. And 70, how Liverpool won 7-0 in a ridiculous scoreline. I told you Liverpool FC equals 56, like coronavirus. So there you have it. I've pretty much shown you here how pro sports are synced up with major events and announcements. I've given you the numbers, I've given you the narrative, I've given you the history behind it all. I continue to do it video after video about different things, not just professional sports, media manipulation, politics, how it's all scripted, how they're selected, not elected. Just you've got to decode things, how the coronavirus was announced to be a pandemic on the 11th of March, which can be written 113, and then the election for the US presidency was the 3rd of November, which can be written 11-3, 113, the number of deception. Kobe Bryant equals 113. Anyway, there you have it. Here's a video to show you how pro sports are synced up with major events and announcements.